A very good morning to all. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you for all the participants for attending today. So without further ado, I will share my slide and I'll start with my sharing session for today. Can everyone see this slide? Nampak ke semua?
Okay, nampak.
Yes.
Nampak. Okay, I'll continue. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll introduce myself. I'm technologist Dr. Sunitha Doraisamy. Currently, I'm residing in the Department of Civil Engineering, Polytechnic Unku Oma. I did my industrial attachment at Perak State of Public Works Department, also well known as JKR Negeri Perak. I started my internship actually from the 1st of September 2023 up to the 31st of December 2024. As Encik Nikiznan was mentioning just now, was it a day release or was it a hourly release? I did both. So in 2023, I did the day release, and in 2024, I did based on the hourly release. Okay, this is our panels for today morning. So Encik Muhammad Yusri bin Yunus, he's our program leader for the program of Architectural Technology, Polytechnic Unku Oma. We also have technologist Saida Joni Nok. She's our senior lecturer, also residing in the Department of Civil Engineering, Polytechnic Unku Oma. And also, lastly, IR Ahmad Al-Nado bin Hamim. He's the head of Civil and Structural Engineering Design Department from JKR Perak. So thank you very much for becoming our panel for today morning. Okay, so I'd like to start upon to give you a bit of the objective for internship program for lecturers actually. So it is to expose lecturers to a particular job and a profession or industry while lecturers might have an idea, training and skills, improve competency and work experience to improve the quality of professionalism, learning for the purpose of adopting best practices, to build and strengthen the network of cooperation with the agency. So overall, internship can provide professional work experience in a safe and structured environment with help from experts. So internship also can lead to lecturers to practice and improve their industry skills while also learning how to work. So because we are academicians, we do have to agree that we are lacking of that industrial experience outside. So this internship give us that opportunity to experience what we teach and learn to inside the syllabus and curriculum, something that we can practice outside. So it helps also in the soft skills such as communication, punctuality and time management. And my main aim was to integrate theory and practice. What I teach here to the students, I would like to integrate it in practice to gain more knowledge and exposure so that at the end of the day, I could come back and share with my students and my fellow colleagues. Okay, so as I was saying that I would like to integrate the theory and practice, actually in the civil engineering department, I teach the bachelor's of civil engineering technology mainly in my department. So I teach, one of the main subjects that I teach is the design of reinforced concrete of structures. Apart from that, I do teach the civil engineering construction technology as well. But my main focus was design of reinforced concrete of structures. So the CLOs or the course learning outcomes for this subject that I would like to, at that time, my main aim was to apply as much as possible in the industry are as follows. So we have the CLO1, the course learning outcome 1, rearrange concrete reinforcement design by using appropriate software and tool. CLO2, analyze the reinforcement concrete design based on the concrete member and section given. CLO3, design sustainable, economic, green, safe reinforcement concrete structure accordingly to the Eurocode 2 standard and procedure. And lastly, CLO4, integrate and balances economic, societal, and technical consideration to complete project. What I like to say here is, especially on some part of the CLOs, usually here in Polytechnic, I teach the students the manual calculation and design of reinforced concrete. Here we are not provided to use the software or not exposed to certain softwares, but it's my understanding there are several softwares that are used for design of reinforced concrete structures as well as steel design. But here we do not have that facility. So me being attached with JKR allowed me to use a certain software to learn using that software to do the design of reinforced concrete building. So that marked my CLO1 actually. So the importance of internship allows to apply what is learned in practical setting, helps prepare an individual for tasks you may complete once they have begun their career, lead to test the industrial knowledge, help a person develop transferable skills, learn about new interests, allow someone to network with both new and experienced professionals within their industry, allows an individual to learn in safe environment. Okay, so overall, the internship allowed me to learn more about my strength and weakness in this particular area. Even if I were to make a mistake or misunderstand certain design process, this internship created a learning opportunity for me actually. Okay, CLO1, as I was mentioning, as I said, I was not exposed to any software in design of reinforced concrete. So when I was attached to JKR, the first thing I was assigned to was designing a project, a school project, in fact, and I was exposed and I was introduced to the one of the software, Tekla Structural Design, which is famously used everywhere. So this already marked my CLO1, rear range concrete reinforcement design by using appropriate software and tools. So during my internship in JKR, okay, I was attached to a school project. So I would like to explain on what actually I was assigned to. So the function of the structural design unit in this project, I was attached to the civil and structural design unit. So the function of this unit in this project is looking into the design process of this building, which is a school building, by assigning the appropriate sizes for beams, columns, and slabs with consideration of proper specifications such as concrete class, concrete cover, exposure class, nominal cover, and so on as to Eurocode 2. This is usually have been taught by me, by myself, to students for many years. But as I said, applying using a software was not within in my experience. So this was the exposure that I got. So this was done by using the Tekla software, and I was given a video tutorial in the beginning of the design process with Tekla software. So further on, I started the design for the school project in Karai, Kuala Kangsar using the Tekla software myself. So these were the plans that was given to me in the unit to be referred for the designing process using this software. So this is actually a double-story, two-story building of a school. So this is actually in Karai, Kuala Kangsar. There's already an existing school. So there is an advanced 3 more buildings that were constructed there to upgrade the school. So among the 3 buildings which I designed, one of it was the double-story, the 2-story school building, a new 2-story school building. Apart from this, there was also a lab, science lab, a school science lab, a single-story school science lab, and also a preschool, a single-story preschool. So these were the plans that I referred to. Okay, so the design process using Tekla software. So this is how it looks. Okay, this page here shows the setting of codes and units for the further design, where the selected code is Eurocode 2, of course, and the units per kilonewton per meter squared. So if the value in the plans were in mm, for example, it would be converted to meters prior to be keyed in. So the available setting sets will be as according to the country or region, which as here in Malaysia, we use the UK settings. So this one, based on this selection, Tekla Structural Designer creates an initial setting set or also known as the active set, containing defaults for design codes, units and sections, and settings for drawings, schedules, and also reports. So this here is the process of creating the levels of this project, which the levels, as this project consists of 2 levels, as I mentioned. The levels created comprises from ground to roof level. So it was done based on the sectional drawings that was given to me. So here is creating the grid lines based on the layout plans. This step of creating the grid line was also done by inserting the values of distance and height for each grid lines. This also are basically referred exactly from the plans. So this is a bit of the introduction. So this was actually was carried out by me from the first day I was attached there from September up to December of 2023 actually. So I completed the design up to December 2023. Okay, as for the next three CLOs, it also contains on the part of using the software and designing the whole building. But the next part of my training or attachment was once the design part was over, I was fully attached at Karai Kuala Kangsar at the site to monitor and supervise the ongoing project. So this is the site of project Pembinaan Bangunan Gantian di Sekolah Kebangsaan Karai Kuala Kangsar. So this actually I visited in 2023. This is a picture which I visited in 2023. This I also had the opportunity to look at the site investigation process. This one was actually I forgot to mention. This was the excavation process. So the excavation, what I saw was towards the approved depth. It also a process of removing earth, rocks, and other materials in order to create a level and stable foundation for the structure. This is the process that I was able to witness, and this was the site investigation. Macintosh probe test and also the cube test. So the Macintosh probe test was conducted for the purpose of soil investigation, where it is carried out to determine the bearing capacity, which is the strength of the soil. The result obtained from the test provides a rough estimation actually for the soil layer at a point. And the cube test was also conducted. The cube test is crucial in determining the strength of the concrete or whether or not it is suitable to be used at all. So it is important to be fully aware of the quality of the mixture for both safety, financial and convenience reasons. Okay, this is the site as of March 2024 when I visited. Okay, the current state of project. This is the work progress of the rubble pitching wall up to April 2024. So usually in teaching, we say it as the retaining wall. So the rubble pitching wall refers to a retaining wall. So I did not prior have an experience in seeing inside the development of the rubber pitching wall. Okay, a retaining wall. So the rubber pitching wall refers to a retaining wall constructed using regular shaped rough stones that are carefully placed and fitted together, often with a mortar, to create a stable slope protection structure. So what I understood is the concept of rubble pitching wall is that rubble describes the rough, unshaped stones actually used in the construction. And the pitching refers to the placing of stones at an angle to create a sloping surface. And the function is to resist the force of water and soil by providing a stable, resistant surface and slopes. Okay. Along with this, when I was attached there now in Karai Kuala Kangsar, starting from 2024, I was referred to JKR Kuala Kangsar at that time. So the building engineer of the JKR Kuala Kangsar and also the contractors and supervisors, along with them, what they assigned me is to look at the critical path method on the scheduling and monitoring of this project. So critical path methods is also something that I teach to the students on the civil engineering and in civil and construction engineering technology subject for the bachelor's degree program. So critical path method is usually something that I teach manual calculation as usual. But here, usually in the industry, now they are doing the critical path method, the scheduling, monitoring process, and so on. Even the resource and the evaluation of financial substances are done using a software called Microsoft Project. So once again, I was introduced to something new, the Microsoft Project software. I was installed and I gained a lot of knowledge using that software, and alongside monitoring, enhance the real experience of monitoring and supervising a project along with this critical path method. So the critical path method helps in identifying the most critical tasks that determine the project timeline. Efficient resource allocation is essential for successful implementation of critical path method. Monitoring progress and identifying delays early on are key aspects of using the CPM. Optimizing construction schedule involves making strategic time cost trade-offs while adapting to changes in the project scope, and risk management plays a crucial role in mitigating potential disruptions. So all this theoretically, that this is what we teach and we learn, but this is something that is referred to at site as well. So the CPM is a crucial tool in construction project management, allowing for efficient scheduling and resource allocation. By understanding and implementing CPM effectively, I understand that construction project can be completed on time and within budget. So key concepts in critical path method: identify all tasks required to complete the project, establish dependencies between these tasks. This is what I always find it a bit confusing for me. Calculate the minimum completion time for each task and determine the critical path based on the longest duration. So CPM is a step-by-step project management technique that outlines critical and non-critical tasks within the goal of preventing timetable delays. So in a way, what I learned is to identify what are the critical tasks and non-critical tasks. So my main focus will be on the critical task. So by focusing on the critical path, I found that project managers and contractors in this project are more effectively, are able to allocate resources more effectively and anticipate potential bottlenecks. When I say bottlenecks, meaning something that slows down the free movement and progress of that task or activity. Okay, benefits of critical path method. The critical path method, CPM, serves as a robust platform for predictable project delivery, meaning that we are able to predict when this certain project can be delivered on time. Not just the overall project, we can also predict when a certain activity or task is carried out, when it could be completed on time. So then we have the streamlined cost management in another significant advantage of employing CPM. So streamlined cost management, what I mean here is allows for a more accurate estimation of project costs by identifying the most time sensitive activities, which helps in preventing budget overruns and facilitates better financial planning. So the collaborative nature of CPM also fosters a team-oriented approach to contract management. The integration of real-time data and automation within the CPM framework acts as a support system for improved project. Okay, limitations and challenges in critical path method, inaccurate time estimates. Sometimes we can, what I see is that sometimes we estimate that certain project can finish on this time. Sometimes it tends to finish earlier, which is good, and sometimes it does finish later. So the whole scheduling changes at this point. Limited flexibility, assumption of constant resource availability. This is something that I found tricky also when I was there. So I make assumption that this much of resource is available. Sometimes it's not as much as that, because sometimes the task that is supposed to schedule to finish at this specific date finishes earlier, or it finishes later. So this is also influences the resource availability there. So difficulty in managing multiple dependencies, especially for projects which is as big as this. Implementing the critical path method. Okay, begin by defining the project scope and objective. Each project has its own scope and objectives. So break down the project into smaller manageable tasks, estimate the duration for each task, identify dependencies between tasks to determine the sequence of operations. So this is logically, normally this is what we do theoretically and practically. Task sequencing, identify all the tasks required to complete the project. Determine dependencies between tasks. Arrange tasks in logical sequence that honors the dependencies. So basically, let's say we have task A. So task A, the arrow goes to task B, let's say. So meaning we have to complete the task A first in order to proceed to task B. So these are the sort of dependencies that which is usually will be very tricky, and we have to align all these tasks as accordingly and in a logical sequence as well. So this is the example of the critical path method using the Microsoft project software, which was updated up to December 2024. So So basically, if you see up here, basically when we teach in manually, the terms used here is the same. So we have the cost for each task, how much it is allocated. So and the actual cost that will be used to carry out the task. The scheduled cost is meaning it's a planned or budgeted cost that can be changed and becomes the actual cost. Meaning the cost is, for example, for the first floor beam is 79,000 plus, RM 79,000 plus. That is the actual cost. But the scheduled cost could be lesser, become lesser or higher, depending when on the progress of the work. That's meaning of the scheduled cost. So the baseline duration is the estimated duration that will be taken to complete that certain task. Baseline baseline duration is the original planned time needed to complete the task, and baseline start and finish are the planned start and finish dates on a task that were captured and saved when a baseline was set for the project. But the actual start and actual finish are the real recorded dates when a task began and ended. So not necessarily it has to be as according to the baseline start and finish. So this is the look on the CPM, how it is done during the Microsoft project. So I would do update from here itself. So I will update on the actual start and actual finish is the things that once all this has been keyed in, right from the beginning of the project started, the actual updating along with the monitoring every week, the part that I'll be updating is the actual start and actual finish actually. Okay. Resource allocation. So, identify all necessary resources for each task. Estimate the quantity and timing of resource needs and allocate resources in a manner that supports the critical part. So, proper management of resources, such as when I say resources, they are labor, materials, and equipment, can make or break a project timeline. This is what I learned when I was at site. Okay, I repeat, a proper management. So the resources are here. What I'm mentioning here is the labor, material, and equipment. So by strategically assigning resources to tasks on the critical path method, construction managers or contractors can maintain a momentum and mitigate the risk of delays. So this resource allocation here, I fully understood how important it was at that time. So from there, this is the summary of the work process. So from what from earlier, based on from here, the critical path method, updating from here, and the critical path method here, from here, and also from what I have mentioned here, this is the summary of the work process that I was able to do. Okay, so we have this kemajuan physical and kemajuan kewangan. That means the physical progress and the financial progress based on the work. Okay, so on schedule, how many percent is supposed to be done by the date? Meaning, actually, this update is every month, not for the overall project. For every month, there will be an update. So for that month up to December, so how many percent is on schedule, and it's actually how many percent has been progressed. And also as for the cost, on schedule, let's say 150,000 has to be used for the site preparation and earthworks. 150,000 is allocated. So far, 148,000 has been used. That is the meaning of it. So for the site preparation and earthwork, on schedule, it has to be 100%, but so far 98% of the work has been physically done. So that is the meaning of that. Okay, so progress tracking, monitoring and controlling with the critical path method. So one was the progress tracking, of course. That was the main my main objective was there that I was assigned to. So the review project milestones and deliverables regularly, like almost every week. Compare plan versus actual progress, analyze variance to understand their impact. So in this progress tracking, regular monitoring of project timelines ensures that each task is completed on schedule, and I also can identify potential delays swiftly. So this proactive approach allowed project and managers and contractors to maintain control over the project's progress and make informed decisions. So if there is a possibility, you can foresee there might be a delay might happen. So you can take that mitigation or measures hands on. So as for identifying delays, uh, review the project schedule regularly, compare planned progress with actual progress, communicate with team members and stakeholders about any discrepancies. So delays can be caused by material shortages, labor disputes or unexpected environmental condition. But what I find there in my experience was one was the material shortages and one was the unexpected environmental conditions. Due to a certain period of time, there was it was a very heavy rainy season actually. So that also compromised the work over there. So also, okay. Okay, so based on what I've explained so far, then it came to this, where I prepared up to the December of 2024, the completed tasks. Okay, these were the completed tasks. This is an example. Actually, there's a lot for the whole project, but this is a part of that I'm showing. So these are the completed tasks. So for ground floor slab, for example, the duration is 25 days, on schedule 100%, and actually 100% has been completed. Okay, even based on the baseline start and finish, it has been finished earlier than schedule and so on. Okay, so these are the completed tasks. Okay, monitoring and controlling within the critical path method. Another thing that I learned is the risk management. This was also advised by the engineers in JKR, Kuala Kangsar and the contractors looking into the risk management, where access the workload and schedule of team members to prevent overexertion. So the quality of work will not be as good as we expect if there is a exertion. Sorry. Implement regular breaks and rotate tasks to reduce the risk of fatigue, becoming overtired. Monitor team members for signs of fatigue and provide support as needed. So this is more to OSH, preparing a proper ergonomic and work environment, all this. So this is more to the part of OSH. So effective risk management is crucial for ensuring that projects are delivered on time and within budget. Because if we do experience any sort of fatigue, that will compromise the schedule of the project as well. Okay, optimizing construction schedules with the critical path method. This is something that I did. I learned myself that I would like to share. One is the efficiency strategies. The integration of digital technology, workforce and optimization ensures the right skills are deployed effectively and embracing green initiative. This is actually is my suggestion. So by doing this, we are able to by identifying by doing all these things, we are able to enhance a quality, we can deliver quality product, which in this the building, and also we can save time and cost, where we can prevent cost overruns and budget overruns. So time cost trade-offs, assess the project timeline and identify tasks that can be accelerated, calculate the additional costs associated with expanding these tasks, compare the potential savings in time against the incremental cost. So what I find from the time cost trade-offs, meaning here is what I'm trying to suggest is making informed decisions about where to invest in speeding up the project can lead to significant savings and competitive advantage. So we make the decision on that, where we can invest on more to the risky task to speed up the process of finishing the task. So adapting to changes, reallocating resources to different tasks, rescheduling activities to accommodate new priorities, negotiating with stakeholders for revised deadline. So flexibility is when it comes to handling unforeseen events or modification in project scope. So from there, I also were asked to identify incomplete tasks up to December 2024. So these are the incomplete tasks at the moment. Okay. So like for example, the surface drainage, 77 days are allocated. On schedule, it has to be about 100%, but so far 94% has been completed. We have another 6% of the work to complete is still pending. So, so the work on the surface drainage, for example, is started in August of 2024. At the point, we do not have the actual finish date because it has not completed yet. So it cannot be updated. But according to the baseline, it's supposed to be finished by 4th of April 2024. So this has been incomplete task, for example. So now up to January of 2025, this is the progress of the academic school. This is the school that I designed using the Tekla software and I monitored. Okay. Almost done. Okay. This is the school science lab up to January 2025. This is the preschool, the single-story preschool up to January 2025. So my conclusion here today is the work experience I encountered during the internship allowed me to develop knowledge in certain skills. One of the skills were using the software, integrating the software in designing on reinforced concrete structures. Another thing, so the designing part and the calculation and analysis part was done. And I also had the experience of the management, planning and supervision part. So put into practice the skills that I have learned and practiced during my academic time as well as my teaching experience in Unkoma Polytechnic. Things that I have been teaching, now I have had the chance to see on site, enhance my skills, obtain the perspective of a work environment, benefit from a mentor or supervisor experience and advice. So I had the advice and exposure and guidance from both from one JKR Perak, and I also had the experience from JKR Kuala Kangsar and as well from the contractors that were involved in this project as well. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, terima kasih kepada Dr. Sunitha di atas perkongsian ilmu yang telah dipelajari sepanjang menjalani SIP di JKR Perak. Sebenarnya kalau kita tengok JKR Perak tu ada banyak bahagian lah kan. Ada bahagian structure, ada bahagian jalan raya kan. Jadi sebenarnya walaupun masa yang singkat, kalau boleh kita belajar sesuatu yang betul-betul kita mahir tu rasa dah mencukupi lah. Kalau kita tengok kan Dr. Sunitha dia dah begitu mahir dalam bidang yang dibentangkan tadilah. Jadi saya rasa kalau boleh lepas ni kita kena galakkanlah pensyarah untuk sama-sama pergi kepada SIP untuk kita menambah ilmu. Sebab apa? Sebab apa yang kita belajar dulu mungkin ilmu kita 20 tahun lepas kan mungkin dah tak sama dengan teknologi sekarang. Jadi sekali lagi terima kasih kepada Dr. Sunitha. Terima kasih juga kepada ketiga panel. Jadi sekarang saya buka kepada ketiga panel lah untuk memberi sedikit komentar lah ataupun mungkin penambahbaikan. Dipersilakan.
Okey, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi. Dengar ya?
Selamat pagi.
Boleh.
Okey, baik. Terima kasih. Dr. Sunitha, IR Engineer Ahmad Al-Nadur, Teknologis Zaidah dan juga rakan-rakan lainnya. So saya ni mewakili Ketua Jabatan ya, Cik Azmi bagi sesi pembentangan Dr. Sunitha lah untuk laporan SIP ya, Sambutan Intensif Pensyarah. So secara keseluruhannya bila mendengar pembentangan daripada Dr. Sunitha ya, saya rasa very interesting ya, kerana if I'm not mistaken, Sunitha mungkin boleh correct me ya, you went through the process from A to Z ya, I believe from design up until construction.
Yeah. Yes.
Betul?
Yeah, betul.
So the exposure was I believe is very good kerana you can see how your design being implemented into real situation. Yeah? So I'm not sure whether how the process of SIP ni, sebab saya dimaklumkan sebelum ni for us untuk SIP of course lah mungkin ada kategori-kategorinya. So paling lama pun mungkin sebulan macam tu yang saya faham maybe the regulation ataupun the syarat-syarat telah berubah, but I believe that you had a very good exposure lah, kerana you started from design stage. You design. I think you design the structural part of the building, kan, Doktor?
Yes. Only the 2-story school building. The Magma Science dengan yang pra sekolah tu tak, yang single story tu tak, yang double story saja.
Double story, So and then you managed to use the new
Tekla software.
In which in our department is not being, ataupun in our curriculum tak ada, kan?
Yeah.
So I believe I don't know, probably my opinion lah, so probably kita boleh gunakan I don't know, why not kita buat sama balun balas kepada curriculum untuk embedkan the software to our curriculum into
actually Encik Yusri banyak kali dah buat kertas kerja saya dengan seorang lagi rakan sekerja minta, tapi mahal software tu.
Of course.
I'm asking
Tekla tu is one of the software yang ada lah, probably sebab you mentioned just now dalam kita punya curriculum still using manual. So in order for us to keep up with the industry, so we should have the new technologies being teach to our students. And so kita tak nak ketinggalan. We do not want to be left behind. So apa yang merisaukan bila kita mengajar pelajar-pelajar menggunakan curriculum 80s, 70s. Sekarang ni dah 2025. So we are not in line. So sebaiknya itulah kalau dapat Dr. Sunitha beri lagi malu malas ataupun kertas kerja sebagainya, supaya not specifically nak gunakan Tekla lah. I believe probably Dr. Sunitha,
there are other software. I was exposed to Tekla because JCAR uses Tekla, so I was exposed to Tekla.
So what I'm saying that kalau kita dapat revise the curriculum at least at par, kalau tak pun tak dapat sampai ke tahap the current industry punya level, probably some basic exposure to the new technology, the new softwares, the AI, our big data dan sebagainya, kan. So which is saya rasa sangat baik lah. Dan I personally memang believe for us, the lecturers here in Goma, especially dekat JKA, when you go for SIP, kalau you dapat exposure on site, dapat monitor the progress of a construction project, itu dapat banyak pendedahan. Kita dapat banyak exposure yang mana cannot be what you call it, yang tak ada lah kalau on paper ataupun in theory, sebab there are many shortcuts ataupun tips ataupun other ways beside the curriculum, beside the theory, beside the whatever regulation ataupun proses yang ada on paper, sebab at site itulah yang apa yang kita dapat, itu yang akan dibina, right? So itu sangat berguna lah. Yes, I strongly believe kalau kita sekadar pergi SIP hanya berada di office consultants ataupun mana-mana tempat kita menjalani SIP, kalau kita tidak go session on site, kita tak tahu, especially site meeting. So banyak issues, banyak coordination works, banyak masalah yang perlu diselesaikan between the consultants. So dengan memasuki ataupun mengalami proses dalam mesyuarat tapak pun, kita dapat banyak exposure, banyak benda yang boleh kita pelajari. So I think what Dr. Sunitha dah undergo ataupun dah melalui is very valuable. Dan banyaklah I believe boleh diguna pakai semula di
betul.
di sini, yang mana kita, the knowledge that you gain during your SIP, kita boleh benefitkan kepada pelajar lah, sebab apa-apa hal pun we are lecturers must well equipped lah dengan current knowledge, current situation, supaya kita tak ketinggalan. So congratulations pada Dr. Sunitha kerana berjaya menamatkan SIP dengan, I believe, jayanya. Dan saya yakin Dr. Sunitha dah mendapat new knowledge, dapat the transfer knowledge daripada industri ke Dr. Sunitha, dan hopefully boleh apply during our PNP session with the students.
Ya, Encik. Of course. Terima kasih, Encik.
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe panel technologies Puan Saidah mungkin boleh komen, dan juga mungkin Engineer Ahmad Al-Nado.
Okay, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera kepada Dr. Sunitha, IR Ahmad. Ahmad, boleh dengar suara ya?
Boleh.
Alright, Dr. IR Ahmad Al-Nadho dan Cik Yusri serta semua rakan-rakan yang hadir bersama hari ini lah. Alright, and also thank you to Dr. Sunitha for the knowledge sharing, and Tanya dapat melengkapkan sesi SIP yang saya I would say rather quite panjang jugalah, daripada 2024 sehingga 2025, awal
2023 hingga
2023 sehingga hampir awal
1.5 years.
lah. Alhamdulillah lah settle. Alright, mungkin banyak benda yang telah dipelajari, okay. Tapi saya nak bercakap di sini sebab saya membaca report doktor, then I realised that doctor have explained about CPM, EVM. It's more on the site management and also site supervision. But
Yes.
still, doctor also reported on emergency plans on the construction site, which my question would be, what's the connection about the project management and also the emergency plan? Is it a must? Alright.
Actually, it's a must because project management, lebih kita cakap macam ni, project management emergency plan lah. Benda tu refer kepada the process that we identify, enhance potential risks, and lepas tu along with that, developing strategies to respond effectively to emergencies that could disrupt the project. So include macam contohnya for communication, evacuation plan, resource allocation, apa lagi, damage control, so all this to ensure the project continuity. Dia jangan bagi dia stop. So to ensure project continuity even during a crisis.
Alright.
So boleh-bolehnya.
Okay. Thank you. And then congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
terima kasih kepada Yusri dan juga Puan Saidah. Dipersilakan pula daripada JKR.
Ayat Al-Nado.
Nado.
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi kepada Ustaz Dr. Sunitha, CS Saidah dan Cik Muhammad Yusri. Saya Ahmad Nador daripada JKR. Yang pertamanya tahniah kepada Dr. Sunitha kerana berjaya melengkapkan dia punya apa ni dia panggil tu
Sangkutan industri.
ya industri. Bagi pihak JKR, kami sepanjang Dr. Sunitha di sini, maksudnya dalam proses reka bentuk, alhamdulillah lah dapat, maksudnya Dr. Sunitha ni berjaya menyelesaikan lah dia punya tugasan tu dengan cemerlang, tak ada masalah. Sebab kami faham Dr. Sunitha ni dia first time buat program tekla tu, dan kita faham lah maksudnya orang yang first time tu macam mana. Jadi tapi dengan semangat Dr. Sunitha tu, dia berjaya menyelesaikan masalah tu. Kemudian dia bila dia ditempatkan di tapak, dia di bawah penguasaan Jurutera Daerah Kuala Kangsar. Dan projek tu di bawah SO dia, pegawai penguasa dia tu dia Jurutera Daerah Kuala Kangsar. Tapi bagi saya, bila dekat site pun saya mendapat makluman daripada pihak Jurutera Daerah, Dr. Sunitha tu pun berjaya melaksanakan dia punya tanggungjawab tu dengan cemerlang. Kami bagi pihak JKR mengalu-alukanlah jika pihak Politeknik ingin menghantar tenaga pengajar ke sini untuk belajar SIP lagi, tak ada masalah. Sebab kami pun tahun ni pun banyak projek. Kami dapat banyak projek bangunan sekolah, memang banyak. Kalau nak hantar awal tahun ni sesuai lah, memang kami tengah nak start design. Tu memang awal tahun ni memang bagi saya sesuai. Kalau nak start daripada awal, sebab kita start design tahun ni, kita mungkin akhir tahun ni kita akan iklan tender, dan tahun depan insyaAllah kita boleh start construction. Maksud kalau dalam setahun setengah ke 2 tahun tu, kalau SIP tu dia boleh insyaAllah dia dapat melengkapkan lah, maksudnya circle tu dapat dipenuhi, maksudnya daripada design sehingga ke projek siap lah. Kalau macam tak awal tahun ni insyaAllah dia sesuai lah. Itu sajalah komen saya. Kalau apa-apa ada silap salah, saya mohon maaf daripada pihak JKR, dan tanya sekali lagi kepada Dr. Sunitha. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik, sebab saya terima kasih kepada JKR jugalah sudi ambil saya untuk sangkutan industri. Masa saya memohon tu, saya memohon bawa mantan pengarah lah kan, IR Hamdannya masa tu, dan masa tu IR Suhaidi sampai bulan Disember 2023 tu kan, and then lepas tu Encik take over pula. So saya ucapkan terima kasih lah. Yang pasal tekla software tu, I had a wonderful teacher lah daripada JKR yang ajar saya macam mana sampai kita communicate secara online on the teaching process, apa semua pun ada lah. Kalau saya tak dapat sebab saya kerja dekat sini pun kena, and then saya kena datang sana. So out of the box, secara online pun dia sanggup mengajar. So I had a wonderful teacher lah. Memang terhutang budi sangat lah. And then dekat sana pun they assist me a lot dekat Raya, Kuala Kangsar. Even bukan daripada bahagian kerajaan pun, yang kontraktor daripada luar pun dia willing to share the CPM proses apa semua tu lah. So kita pergi mana-mana pun, that teacher tu is very important lah, sanggup tolong dengan the busyness that you all have. So I think I have opened a path that where kita ni daripada Politeknik bolehlah pergi buat sangkutan industri dekat bahagian kerajaan macam JKR ke, atau let it be ada kerajaan pun apa pun tak kisahlah, because kadang-kadang nak try dekat private companies memang payah mereka nak ambil kita kadang-kadang, because they like how to say no money no talk lah. If it's not going to untung mereka from ringgit or cents, they are not going to take us sometimes lah, unless kita memang kawan dengan dia ke apa. But so my next option was government sector lah, which I don't regret. So you all just have to approach sahaja. They will welcome me in open hand, and kita yang kena manage macam mana lah. So actually it's a wonderful experience. And 1.5 years saya dapat stretch juga berjayanya nak siapkan sampai 1.5 years, sebab nak pergi sebulan 3 bulan tu tak cukup bagi saya nak dapatkan ilmu tu. And ilmu yang saya dapat tu for teaching and learning purpose memang very good, because sehebat mana pun kita ajar student pun, sometimes kan when student tanya kita kan Encik kan certain question, am I giving the right answer to them? Janganlah saya bagi ajaran sesat ke apa kan. And then takkan saya nak cakap kat mereka, nanti tunggu dulu saya pergi tengok balik, refer balik, nanti saya datang balik tu. Now I have the certain experience, especially for the subject concrete, design of reinforced concrete ataupun yang civil and construction technology punya subject. I can give the answer hands-on and I can be confident with the answer. Saya tahu itu bukan tipu ataupun reka semata-mata lah kan. So this is something very good and I advise my friends to go for it lah. It's very good. Okay. So terima kasih sangat-sangat lah. Terima kasih lah kepada panel-panel dan semua peserta-peserta. Terima kasih juga bagi pihak Politeknik kepada Ayar Ahmad Al-Nado lah. JKR sanggup ambil sudi seorang staf daripada Politeknik untuk buat sangkutan industri di sana. So, terima kasih.
Okey, kita telah selesai daripada pembentangan dan juga daripada komen ketiga-tiga panel. Jadi sebenarnya saya nak buka untuk pertanyaan daripada peserta, tetapi memandangkan masa dah 9.59, IR Al-Nado pun ada kerja lain dan pesyarah-pesyarah pun ada kelas. Jadi saya rasa cukup dah dulu untuk hari ini. Kalau ada apa-apa mungkin boleh bertanya secara teruslah kepada Dr. Sunitha tentang pengalaman, bagaimana nak buat report, seronok ke, boleh tanya tu nanti, tak ada masalah kan. Jadi saya rasa kita tutup dulu program kita, majlis kita pada pagi ini. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Stay safe.
Terima kasih semua.
Terima kasih.
Ada nak ambil gambar ke ni?
Anik Izlan.
Oh, nak ambil gambar.
Untuk bukti-bukti pada urus.
Jenik, tolong ambil gambar je ni.
Mohon buka semua untuk bergambar. Saya handshake ni tak boleh nak ambil gambar. Kita ambil gambar. Dah. Sejuk ambil gambar, sejuk.
Okey ke?
Tak.
Nak ke? Okey. Okey. Okey, terima kasih, Encik.
Terima kasih semua. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.